Welcome to Knowledge Hub, where curiosity meets discovery. Dive into a world of fascinating facts, mind-blowing science, and the secrets behind everyday wonders. Get ready to expand your mind and explore topics that spark your imagination. Let's unlock the knowledge together. I remember the day Sarah and I decided we needed a change. The weight of our son's loss was suffocating. Every room in our house echoed with memories that felt like daggers. We thought a new home might help us escape the shadows that clung to us. That's when we stumbled upon the mansion. It was breathtaking, grand, with ivy crawling up the walls and a garden that seemed to whisper secrets of its own. When we met Amy, the owner, she was enchanting. Her smile was warm, but there was something in her eyes that hinted at untold stories. She offered us the mansion as a gift, which felt surreal. But then she added a condition. We couldn't open the basement door. At first, it seemed like a harmless request. After all, we were desperate for a fresh start, and the allure of this beautiful home was too strong to resist. As we settled in, the mansion began to feel like a character in our lives. The creaking floors and the way the light danced through the stained glass windows made it feel alive. But that basement door loomed over us, a constant reminder of the mystery we had agreed to ignore. Sarah was curious, and I could see it gnawing at her. I tried to distract her with the beauty of the house, the sprawling gardens, and the promise of new beginnings. But I knew that curiosity was a powerful force. Days turned into weeks, and the mansion became our sanctuary. Yet, the basement door was always there, like a dark cloud hanging over us. I could see Sarah's spirit flickering, her eyes darting toward that door whenever she thought I wasn't looking. I tried to convince her that some mysteries are better left unsolved, but I could feel the tension building between us. The house was supposed to heal us, but it felt like it was pulling us apart. One evening, I found Sarah standing in front of that door, her hand hovering over the knob. I could see the conflict in her eyes. "What if it holds the answers we need?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I wanted to scream, to tell her that some doors are meant to stay closed. But I also understood her need for closure, for understanding. In that moment, I realized that the mansion wasn't just a distraction. It was a reflection of our grief. The basement door symbolized everything we were trying to avoid: the pain, the memories, the unanswered questions. I took her hand, and we stood there together, facing the door. "Maybe we don't need to open it," I said. "Maybe we can find our way through this together, without knowing what's behind it." But deep down, I knew that the door would always be there, waiting. And as much as I wanted to protect Sarah from whatever lay beyond, I also knew that sometimes, facing the darkness is the only way to find the light again. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. The house loomed over me, its shadows whispering secrets I wasn't ready to uncover. Sarah had always been a mystery, but this was a whole new level. As I wandered through the dimly lit rooms, I felt an unsettling mix of intrigue and suspicion. What was she hiding? Then I stumbled upon the cellar. It was hidden behind a rotting wooden door, almost as if it didn't want to be found. My heart raced as I descended the creaky stairs, the air thick with dust and the scent of something ancient. What lay beneath this house was a part of Sarah's past that she had never shared with me. I could feel the weight of her secrets pressing down on me, and I knew I had to dig deeper. But just as I was piecing together the fragments of her life, my own past came crashing back. Lisa, my ex-girlfriend, had a knack for showing up at the worst possible moments. Her threats echoed in my mind, a constant reminder of the chaos I had tried to leave behind. She was relentless, and when she found out about Sarah, she didn't hold back. The way she revealed my infidelity to Sarah was like a dagger twisting in my gut. I could see the hurt in Sarah's eyes, and it tore me apart. And then the news hit me like a freight train. Sarah thought she might be pregnant. The tension in the air was palpable. I was caught between two women, one who held my heart and another who held my past. The stakes had never been higher. I wanted to be there for Sarah, to support her, but the shadow of Lisa loomed large, threatening to unravel everything. Then came the moment that changed everything. Lisa was found murdered. The Police arrived, and suddenly, I was the prime suspect. My heart raced as they questioned me, their eyes searching for guilt. How could this be happening? I was just trying to navigate my way through a tangled web of love and betrayal, and now I was at the center of a murder investigation. Every detail of that night replayed in my mind. The arguments, the threats, the secrets. I had to find a way to clear my name and protect Sarah. But how could I do that when the truth felt so far out of reach? I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, and the only way out was to confront the darkness that lay hidden in that cellar. I knew I had to uncover the truth about Lisa, about Sarah, and about myself. The clock was ticking, and I could feel the walls closing in. I had to act fast before the past consumed me whole.
Everyone thinks I killed Lisa. They see the headlines, the accusations, and they jump to conclusions. Revenge, they say, but they don't know the truth. They don't see the whole picture. Sarah stood by me, lying to the police about where I was that night. I thought she believed in me, but deep down, I could see the doubt creeping in. When the police revealed my affair with Lisa, it was like a dagger to her heart. I could feel her anger, her betrayal. How could I let my child grow up with a father branded a murderer? I tried to convince her of my innocence, but the more I spoke, the more determined she became to leave. I was losing everything. The walls of this house felt like they were closing in on me. I started to feel the weight of the past pressing down, especially the basement. There was something about it that called to me, something I needed to understand. I had to know what secrets it held. So, I want to see the man who had threatened me before. He was a shadow from my past, a reminder of everything I wanted to escape. He warned me never to open that basement door. His eyes were wild, filled with a fear that sent chills down my spine. But I couldn't shake the feeling that whatever was down there held the answers I needed. Ignoring his warning, I broke the lock. The sound echoed through the house, a final farewell to the life I once knew. But just as I pushed the door open, Sarah appeared, her face twisted in rage. She was terrified, and I could see it in her eyes. She didn't want me to go down there. "Stop," she screamed. And in that moment, I realized how far we had fallen. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about us, about our family. But I was desperate. I needed to know if I was truly innocent or if I was just another victim of this twisted fate. As she lunged at me, I felt the weight of our choices crashing down. Would I find the truth in that basement? Or would it destroy everything we had left? The line between love and fear blurred, and I stood there, torn between the past and the uncertain future that awaited me.
I woke up in a haze, the world around me spinning, and then there was Sarah. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and something else, something darker. I could barely process what she was saying, but the words cut through the fog like a knife. "I killed Lisa," she confessed, her voice trembling but resolute. At first, I thought it was some kind of sick joke. Lisa was gone, and now Sarah was saying she was the one who pulled the trigger? It didn't make sense, but as she spoke, the pieces started to fall into place. An argument, a gun, and then the chilling detail that sent shivers down my spine. She had strangled Lisa afterward, desperate to cover her tracks. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. How could she do that? How could anyone? But then, the reality of her words hit me harder than any blow. She looked straight into my eyes, and I could see the panic behind her bravado. "You have to promise me, John," she urged, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Never go into the basement." I hid her there. A chill ran through me. The basement. I had always avoided it. A dark, musty place filled with old memories and forgotten things. But now it was a grave. A place where Lisa's life had ended, and Sarah had buried the truth. "John, listen to me," she continued, her tone shifting from pleading to threatening. "If you say anything, if you even think about going down there, all the evidence will point to you. They'll believe I was innocent, that you were the one who lost control." I felt trapped, caught in a web of manipulation. She was playing me like a puppet, and I was too stunned to fight back. My mind raced with questions. How could I protect myself? How could I protect Lisa's memory? But all I could do was nod. My voice caught in my throat. "Promise me," she insisted, her eyes boring into mine. I wanted to scream, to run, to tell someone, anyone, but the fear of what she could do kept me silent. I could see it in her eyes, the desperation, the madness. She was capable of anything, and I was just a pawn in her twisted game. As the weight of her confession settled on my shoulders, I realized I was now part of this nightmare. I had to live with the knowledge of what she had done and the burden of her threats. The basement loomed in my mind, a dark secret that could destroy me if I dared to uncover it. I had to play along, to keep my head down, to pretend everything was normal. But every creak of the floorboards, every shadow in the corner of my eye, reminded me of the truth lurking just beneath the surface. Sarah had crossed a line, and now I was left to navigate the treacherous waters of her deceit. I promised her I wouldn't go into the basement, but deep down, I knew that promise would haunt me. The truth was a heavy weight, and I was terrified of what would happen if I ever dared to lift it.
I remember the day we sealed the basement like it was yesterday. It felt like we were closing a chapter, but deep down, I knew it was just the beginning of something much darker. Life went on in the house. We celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and even the mundane Tuesday dinners that somehow felt special. Laughter echoed through the halls, but there was always a shadow lurking in the back of my mind. John's shadow. John was different after that day. He wore a smile, but his eyes told a different story. I could see the weight of the secret we shared pressing down on him. It was as if the walls of the house were closing in, suffocating him with every celebration we held. I often caught him staring at the basement door, lost in thought, wrestling with demons I couldn't see. I wanted to reach out, to tell him it was okay, but I was just as trapped in this web of silence. Then, one day, a parcel arrived. It was from Amy, the house's previous owner. My heart raced as I opened it, revealing a small, rusted key. The key to the basement. I felt a chill run down my spine. Why now? Why after all this time? It was as if she was giving us permission to confront our past, to unearth the secrets we buried so deep. But did we really want to open that door? I glanced at John, who was pacing the room, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. I could see the conflict in his eyes, curiosity battling with fear. The key dangled from my fingers, heavy with implications. What if we opened it? What if we found something that shattered the fragile piece we had built? Or worse, what if we found nothing at all, just the echo of our own guilt? I thought about the events we celebrated, the laughter that filled the air, and how it all felt like a facade. We were living in a house that held our darkest secret, and now we had the means to confront it. But was it worth the risk? I could feel the tension building, the anticipation of what lay behind that door. In the end, we had a choice to make. We could continue living in blissful ignorance, pretending that everything was fine, or we could face the truth, whatever it may be. I looked at John again, and for a moment, I saw a flicker of hope in his eyes. Maybe opening that door could finally set us free. But then again, maybe it would only bind us tighter to the past we tried so hard to escape. The basement remained sealed, but the key felt like a ticking time bomb in my hand. The secret was still hidden inside, waiting for us to decide whether to confront it or let it linger in the shadows. And as I stood there, I realized that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves.
If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world and helps us create even more amazing content for you.